Oh, hello, hello, everybody. Maris Rey, Water Dragon Extraordinaire, back at you again with another Genshin Impact live stream. And today, as you know, I must clarify again in case you're unaware, but for the recent past few months, something like that, every Thursday I stream a tiny bit later than normal because I play Breath of the Wild over some type of stream and I play with my grandma. But that's all up, and we're back on Genshin right as we're supposed to be. Okay, so that event restarted. Let's not forget to do that event. We'll do that after we do the other daily stuff. Okay, so naturally we're gonna start by going straight to Emblem of Severed Fate. Almost forgot my caffeine. Actually, I completely forgot my caffeine. Not only did I forget my caffeine, but I don't really have food in my stomach for the caffeine, which is going to be pretty bad. Whenever I eat consume caffeine without food, I get very, very jittery. So we'll see if I can bypass that this time somehow.
Osmanthus wine tastes the same as I remember. Where are those who
hope for no jitters? All we could do is hope. Okay, let's set up this team. Except, where's Ayaka? Put Ayaka back in his team. I assume that this should be my best version of the team for this dungeon. Ayaka does it pretty fast. Oh yeah, and I use Mona, right? Where's Mona?
This is how it must be.
This was the team that I was running. I remember it now. I remember it now, and I remember it well. And Zhongli does a lot more damage since the last time I've been here, I think. To the upper blues.
Here comes the catch. Delved into destiny, written in the stars.
order guide you.
Sakura swirl.
Written in the stars. I feel like my Ayaka could still be a fair bit stronger, but I don't really know how to get her there myself. I just don't know what I'm doing wrong. Oh, would you look at that? That's a very nice looking piece. What a fine way to start the day. Oh yes. What a great looking piece indeed. I like it. I like what I'm seeing.
Shadows of fate. Fate is upon you.
This is order.
Osmanthus wine tastes the same as I remember. But where are those who share the memory?
Delved into destiny.
Look at the damage. Of course, some of that damage is Mona, but I mean, gee, come on. Mona does a lot of damage, let's be fair. I'm really surprised with how good my Mona ended up being. Obviously, I know that she's not the best Mona out there. I never intend to be anything beyond average with my builds, so long as, you know, they reach thresholds that I'm satisfied with, and in general my units seem to be hitting the spot as of late. Again, I want to reiterate that that's not the case every single time,
Shadows of fate. Written in the stars.
but it is fairly often.
Sakura swirl. Take flight.
He scry. Oops. That's gonna take a little bit off the top there. You see, with the Ayaka team, I'm consistently able to get the defeat in under 50 seconds. I am able to do that sometimes with the Hu Tao team, but I struggle a bit to break the big Hilichurl's shield on time in the Hu Tao team.
Solidify.
Quietly now. Shadows of fate. Fate is upon you.
This is
Shadows
order.
of Fate. I can't believe my Zhongli is all, even with the progress I've made on him, is still not able to kill that slime. I do know he has a little bit stronger to get, even still, but I can't believe he's not there yet. Okay, now we're finally starting to get some decent pieces out of this resin farming that we've been doing. And don't forget, I would like to eventually put Xingqiu on Emblem of Severed Fate and potentially Beidou, and any other future supports might be going on it as well. Oops, I forgot to start the damn thing.
Gotcha. Here comes the cash. Written in the stars.
Order guide you.
Written in the stars. Oops, that's not right. Oh, you know what? Actually, that was just fine. I don't know why she kind of paused there during the combo. Still 46 seconds, so it's still pretty good. I'm happy with that. We keep going again. Ah, I was hoping that that was crit damage. If that was crit damage, I almost could have made Zhongli's better artifacts today. Although I do still need him to have HP sands, which is the problem. I would like him to have HP sands with a pretty decent crit values. What if I just do this?
Shadows of fate. Fate is upon you. Embrace the ice.
There in the universe where this is ever faster?
Delved into death.
To be honest with you, it doesn't seem like that's faster. I know I was in the menus for a little bit, so maybe that was about average time in any case, but even in my feelings, it didn't feel faster. As I gauged it, it still didn't feel quite as fast as I'd like it to be. I don't really know how to make this farm any faster, though.
Stabilize.
My units aren't capping out, but it sure feels like they're getting close to it.
Quietly now. Shadows of fate. Written in the stars.
This is order.
Sakura swirl.
This is order.
Whirling snow.
First of all, the slime didn't die, which kind of threw off my targeting a bit. But at the same time, that's one of the faster runs, so I really don't know how to think about that. Decent looking hydro piece, but no crit values. It might not be too usable. But it could open the door of potentially allowing me to off-piece for a different set, which could be worth it as well.
Busted. Here comes the cash. Delved into destiny. Decided by destiny.
I will
Delve
have
into
order.
destiny.
Embrace the ice.
Just look at the damage.
Shadows of fate. Take flight.
Look at him. The homie can't even get up off the floor. I know my Ayaka could stand to be even stronger still. Because, for one, I think her her talent facts. Oh no. I think her artifacts could stand to be a bit stronger. Her talents could afford to be a bit higher. And I could eventually work on buying refinements to the Black Sword or so. So she has a lot of natural crit rate because of just the way things go, so like she actually is at 100% crit rate more or less if I'm freezing stuff because of Blizzard Strayer. Yep. Otherwise, if she's just affecting them by herself, then it's an additional 20% crit rate. So she's, even though this looks pretty good, it's actually like very overvalued on crit rate. To the point where I could almost do away with this and just run like a crit damage sword of some type. The problem arises, however, that I don't have any. You see that? I don't have any type of crit damage sword at all. So, that was the best I could do for her. I really always loved Ayaka. I remember during her banner's time, or around her banner time in any case, I remember the difficult situation I placed myself in because I didn't know who I wanted to pull for. Because, you know, we knew at the time about Raiden Shogun, we knew about Yoimiya, and we knew about Ayaka. I don't remember the particular order. I think it was going Yoimiya and then Ayaka, or maybe Ayaka then Yoimiya. No, I'm pretty sure it was Yoimiya and then Ayaka. However, I had to make a choice. Do I want Yoimiya or Ayaka? And at the time, I hadn't done either of their story quests. So it made sense to me to do both of their story quests and make an educated guess after the fact. Based off that story quest, who will I end up liking to play? And as it, or who would I like story-wise based off their story? Like, who had the more interesting story? And to my preference, I preferred Ayaka's story. Not only did I have fun with her the entire time on her story, but then she did that thing at the end. I don't know if it's worth spoilering at this. I mean, it's probably, people should know by now. When she did that water dance, I was sold with that water dance. I'll tell you that much. I was immediately sold. That's how you know she truly meant that dance. She's willing to be dancing around in wet socks. There's a keeper. And to get down from the fence. I gotta wonder sometimes. Gimme, 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 gimme. Yas. And it's almost time. Let me see what's today. The 30th is the 30th today. So tomorrow, we should get the extra rolls from this being reset, which is exciting because that, for one, I'm pretty sure with these 5 Acquaint Fates that I'll be, if I won't, I should be pretty close to getting a 5-star in the Acquaint Fates. So that's exciting. I need basically any of the 5 stars. I'm totally fine with any of them. As you can see, we're doing very well in the Intertwined Fates. We're more than on schedule, I would say, to get Kazuha. Oh, and one thing that I never mentioned that I tried doing for my own sake, I suppose. Because, you know, even I have my doubts still about whether or not, even after the gems that I've saved and the money that I'm willing to spend, I had my doubts that I would actually be able to get to C2 Kazuha. So what I did to circumvent these hesitant thoughts, these doubtful thinkings, is I downloaded one of those Genshin Wish simulators on my phone, and I ran the Wish simulator. I want to say probably for a good half an hour or longer of just repeatedly trying to find out what's the... if I have higher odds of hitting C2 or not. And actually, from what the simulator goes to show me, which, you know, it's... For one, I know you're not supposed to take simulator for fact. For two, I know if you are going to represent your thinkings based off the simulator, that it shouldn't be... I guess... I almost want to say you shouldn't base your money spending on the simulator. As, for one, the rates could be different. Although I doubt it. I doubt that they're too different at this point in time. And, you know, if you get a lucky streak on the simulator, it might dissuade you. Or make you think one type of way otherwise, right? Which is not what we want to do. So can I switch to this team? However, what the simulator goes on to show me is I actually seem to have a higher chance of reaching C3 than I do of even hitting C1. Assuming that I buy all of the, like I mentioned before, assuming that I buy all of the top-up bonuses that are yearly, which for US dollars, that's $201 in total, as far so long as my very, very basic math is correct. Which equates to about $402 of total, I guess, wishes, one would say. More or less. Yeah, so again, the chances of me getting C2 Kazuha looking like it's gonna be pretty fair for us. There was even one, or a few times actually, where I got C2 Kazuha with over 100 wishes left. So then I would simulate the weapons banner as well, and I would end up getting Freedom Sword. So I'm not accounting for if I'm getting Freedom Sword, because I'm going to assume that I'm not going to be hitting that end of the luck. But if I had to get one, of course I'm going to be content with getting C2 Kazuha. I think C2 Kazuha is way more impactful than having Kazuha with Freedom Sword. That's what I've come to believe. Yep. So I know I talk about Kazuha every single day. Oops, I didn't mean to pick that option, Catherine. That's my bad. But I do talk about him every day because I'm excited for him, you know? I really, really want him. So not only do I want him because everybody already understands that he's an awesome character, but you ever know those, like, events, maybe not like these events, but there's always some events where they let you try out characters that you don't own to fill out your team for whatever the event might pertain to. There's already been at least 2 or 3 events that I've taken part in that had Kazuha as a trialable character, and in those free trials, it just confirms what I already knew, which was that I really, really wanted Kazuha. Because then I got to feel the effects of his character with my own hands, and it felt amazing, I must tell you. Okay, pick those up. Now we can go ahead and do this. Go to... let's look for Bertrand. So you'll hopefully be able to forgive me for if I talk about Kazuha every single day until his banner rerun happens. Because if that's going to be a problem for you, then, like I said, forgive me, because it's going to happen. Finished processing the material you collected. How did that go? Of course, there were no issues with all my techniques were, after all, forged in the fires of Fontaine. I thought Fontaine was the water area. And of course, none know the operation and working of such devices better than we, the people of Fontaine. I blame the previous, explosive nature of the product on rushed preparation and the lack of helping hands to help hoover up the necessary materials. Things will be different this time. So you say, if it still explodes, well then my final deposit and the rest of my life will go up in smoke too. Mm-hmm. Let me just ask you this. First of the 3D process, the one we have completed is source material collection. Now then is the next step, core collection or charge collection. But in truth, the answer isn't charge collection, but rather elemental charge. Didn't expect to give you two wrong options, eh? Well, all in all, this elemental charge is essentially performed by being affected by the elements carrying the material collector. I see. Well, you know, you are adventurers. Okay, so we gotta go hang out with these elemental beings. It doesn't seem too hard, to be honest. Let's see where... This is... Wow, he's really gonna send us all the way to Mondstadt? That's a bit insane. One... See, I could just keep pyro on me forever. Ouch. Yeah, these guys are kind of being a bit annoying. Okay, bless. Put some pyro on me. I mean hydro, which I believe I could just jump in the water, huh?
Take it easy.
Let's take care of this Syrian mage first. Let me amuse myself for a little. Hello.
Quietly now. Here comes the
This is order.
This is order.
Gather.
How lovely. Let's just stand in the wetness. Perfect. Now we just need to put Electro on ourselves. How he intends for us to do that? Well, I suppose we'll see, won't we? Going the wrong way to start things off. Okay, let's come this way. You were rolling.
boring.
You can't just put this on me, right?
Things are about to get dicey.
I will have order.
Okay, we can head back. That was a pretty quick daily event. Unless he has more for us to do, in which case I would be glad for him to have more for us to do. But I'll do whatever it takes to get my Primo Gems, so it's not a big issue to me. Let's see, what do you gotta say, Bertrand? Sorry, man, you're not taking visitors right now. How are things going with the material collector? Operations are smooth, I trust? Quite so. The Collector 2 is my pride and joy, whether it be the collection of source materials as we did before, or the storage of elemental energies, as it presently does. It can do them all. To tell the truth, I've been having some thoughts about changing the Material Collector's name. Yeah, it's fine, please. Understating its capabilities, well, I could definitely see that, but it definitely does collect materials, so it's fine. Well, requiring some observation. Okay, so basically come back tomorrow, right? Okay, well, we'll see. That should be day 2 of Primo Gems for me. It's not much, but, you know, we get some Primo Gems out of this. It's a quick little Primo Gem supplying event, I guess. Nice little, like, shot of Primo Gems just injected into your account. Gotta love it, I say. Well, I say, you gotta love it. Okay, let's take a look-see. I know that I look-see every single day, but we gotta measure up to how actually close we are to the next level. What am I looking at? Oh yeah. So we're at 156. Okay. 156 with 19 pity. Right? Three, 18, 19, yeah, 19 pity. 19 pity, 156. With 13 of these. Just run the math again. 13 plus 56. I guess we'll do plus 19 as well for total rolls. 188 plus the 5 that we're getting tomorrow. And by the time his rerun comes out, well, the Spiral Abyss resets tomorrow as well. So that's another... How much does the Spiral Abyss give you? Like 500? That's what, like 3 summons? More or less? I'll do plus 3 for now. That leaves me at 196 attempts thus far. Plus, if we were to buy all of these, last time I did this math, it came out to about 26,000 gems. Right? Yeah, that's about 26,000 gems. Which was worth... Let me see, divide that by 1,600. That was worth about 160 more summons. Now, let me just double check this math, just in case. Whip out the calculator. What we need to do, huh? Okay, so 6480 times 2 plus 3280 times 2 plus 1920, no, 1980 times 2 plus 980 times 2 plus 600 plus 120. Yeah, so that's 26,160 in total if I were to buy all of these, which is more than I already have. So then you take that, divide that by 1,600, that gives you the total amount of 10 rolls. So that's, yeah, as my math previously dictated, that's 160 10 rolls. So, according to my calculator, assuming that I'm accounting for the pity that I already have, and the rolls that I'll get tomorrow, and the rolls I'll obtain from Spiral Abyss, or the Primo Gems from Spiral Abyss. Having factored all those in, and mind you, I'm also not factoring in how much more Star Glitter I might end up with after rolling over 50,000 Primo Gems. But I assume it's going to be a fair bit. So I might be able to turn that into some more wishes as well. So, ultimately, like I was saying, that gives me 356 total wishes as of right now. And I don't know how I would be able to show you this anyways. But if you type in on if you have an Android, there's an app that's literally called Wish Simulator for Genshin. And that's what I'm using. And if I go to Kazuha's original banner, which I'm just doing that for aesthetics, because it wouldn't make any difference if I did it on like Ito's banner, just to get the idea across of, are you going to get C2 of the banner unit? Yeah, in that regard, it makes no difference, but I'm still going to do it anyways. But I really like this Android app because it lets you set a custom amount of wishes. So, like, I could set for it to wish 350 times. That means, first of all, I don't need to sit through all the summons, and I could very quickly determine what my average likelihood of getting Kazuha to C2 will be. So, like, I'll try right now. Surely you can't see, but I'm gonna just trust my word. So, on this attempt, I got him immediately to C3 with the Chi-Chi on the side. So reset that, try again. Once again, I got him to C3 with the Mona. This time I got him to C4 with Mona and Deluc. What an insane amount, huh? Crazy. This time I got him only to C2 with Ketchin and Jean. Another time C3. I got him to C3 with no other 5-star pulls. Interesting. Once again, C3 with the Kachin. Once again, C3 with the Mona, Jean, Deluc, and Chi-Chi. Wow, that's insane. So, C2, 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 C3, C3, C4, C3, C4, C4, C3, C3, C4, C3, C2, C3, C3, C4, C3, C4, C2, C1. Okay, you see, finally I got a C1 again. That's troubling. But in 10 more rolls, I would have gotten him to C2. Okay, C3, C2, C3, 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 C2, C2, C1. Oh no. But in 20 more rolls, he would have gotten a C2. Okay, so in general, you see the consensus is that with the amount of rolls that I have currently residing, I would be pretty close, I'd say. Now, let's imagine if I didn't spend, right? If I just didn't spend at all. That would give me... How many rolls do I have right now? 25,000 more or less. Plus, we'll do plus 500 for the Spiral Abyss tomorrow. And divide that by 1,600. That's 15. So 150 total summons. No, 159. We'll do 159 plus the 19 that I've already used on Pity. So that's 178. plus the 5 that we're getting. That's 183. Plus the 13 that I have, that's 196. So if I was to use... This is where things are interesting to see as well. So if I was to just estimate around 200, because that's like 4 wishes off from 200, it's not a big deal. But if I were to do that, say if I only allowed myself 200 wishes on Kazuha's banner, meaning essentially what I have right now, in general, I would be able to get him, but only him. Sometimes I can get a C1 of him with what I have. It seems like there's a 50% chance that I can get him C1. But it's very rare to get him to C2. That's where the spending comes in. Yeah. And again, this isn't the final results of how things will end up in any case, because, you know, I still have plenty of days until his banner even comes out. I have the Welkin Moon spending of my daily commission, so that's at least 150 a day for me to still get. And like I said, there's the Spiral Abyss coming out tomorrow, the Wish resetting. There will most likely be an event attached to his rerun banner. I wouldn't see why there wouldn't be, so there's probably another like 5-ish summons in there. So I think chances of me getting Kazuha to C2 are pretty high. There's even some chance, which is what I like to hear, there's some chance that I could even get him to C2 without spending. And if that ends up being the case, that would be really nice. Because then I would still ultimately end up buying the anniversary top-ups, just because I don't want to waste them, if that makes sense. Because if the top-up bonuses reset every single time the Genshin anniversary releases, if it resets every time, then from this point on, I want to make sure that I'm at least buying the top-ups before they reset. If that makes sense to you. I'm sure you understand the reason. I've mentioned before, one of my main priorities is making sure that I eventually can get to Liney and Lynette at a high constellation. And there's some reasoning for me to believe that I'd want to get an appropriate weapon for whichever one of them is going to be the 5-star. If they're not just a duo character altogether. We still don't know so much about them. Yes. Well, it's time to overworld farm. We mention this every day, but I don't have enough resources to not do this, so we have to do this every day. At the very least for these two mobs, the Ruin Guards and the Abyss Mages. These are a must. I can't forego them. Now the other one, the Whopper Flowers, that's usually just by the, I guess, a per day basis. Depends how I feel. Sometimes I'll go after them and sometimes I won't. With no particular rhyme or reason. Defeated him. On to the next. And we could destroy them pretty quickly, so it's not really that big of a deal in any case. The overall farming is important for us. If we do it now, we don't have to do it like at another time. I don't want to be caught unaware at a random point in time where I just randomly don't have the resources for something that I might need that particular day. And it gives me time to really experience my units anyways. I know in general I keep using the same units, but it's because they're who I enjoy using right now. I mean, like, as I'm sure you notice, most of the time I'm not even using Xiao or Venti. I'm basically just using Kokomi and Raiden Shogun. I only use Xiao if I mess up my combo, and as a result of that, Raiden Shogun's ultimate is not able to destroy the monster. Only in that situation do I switch to Xiao. Like, this might be one of such times because this is a level 92. Okay. Okay, next mob. And this is essentially how we're going to handle this. I can't believe this. My caffeine hasn't kicked in yet. I'm waiting for the caffeine to really start circulating through me. It's quite a shame that it isn't, because I'm not as zesty as I'd like to be. I'm really not feeling... Actually, I haven't been sleeping much lately, and I'm wondering if that's starting to affect my stream performance. I would hate to be streaming poorly. I would hate to be providing a not entertaining experience. It's to my preference to be as entertaining as possible, of course, so I don't understand any reason why I wouldn't want anything than the best of my own performance, but I'm sure you understand what I mean. I'm trying my best out here. Normally I could be a bit more animated than this, but I'm like very exhausted for some reason. I mean, I know the reason. I literally just went over it. I haven't gotten much sleep in the past, I don't know, like 3 or 4 days in a row. I've probably gotten like 4 or 5 hours in each day, and I think it's finally starting to take its toll. There's only so much that caffeine has been able to circumvent that problem, right? But to be fair, it's done a pretty good job up until this point. I certainly would like to try some other units at some point. Like, I'd like to build up my Jean, my Kachin. I'd like to make my Chi-Chi in the ocean-hued clam set, because I feel like she could perform pretty well with that.
There is no escape.
At least at a basic level, right? It just makes sense. She's like one of the best raw healers in the game. Oh man, I'm just blowing. Oh, well, I guess it wasn't really my fault. I was out of stamina. But I feel like Chi-Chi with the Ocean-Hued Clown would be really, really strong for what I want to do with her. That way she could remain a healer. I don't have to change her role or anything. But she still gets to like pump out an extra 30k deeps every once in a while. More or less. Assuming that I could get the full heal out of the foam.
Shine down. Allow me. Now you shall perish.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like that bad of an idea, if you were to ask me. And then, I already caught up my Mona, as you've plainly seen before. Which, again, I have to reiterate, I'm super glad that I did, because I never really understood how I was supposed to use Mona before. But man, Mona is one of the most insane of the standard 5 stars that I've seen. I don't know how strong Diluc is, because my Diluc's only level 20. I know, like, at the early stages of Genshin Impact, like, I'm talking first, like, month or two, that Diluc was widely regarded as, like, the best unit in the game by far, hands down. Like, it wasn't close. If you just had Diluc, and then, you know, if you somehow also had him with a Wolf's Gravestone, I say this in the perspective of somebody who one, didn't have a lot of time to get Primo Gems early on, and two, somebody who didn't spend a whole lot of money. Again, I have no problems with you doing so, I'm just speaking in that perspective for now. So from that perspective, if you were able to get a Deluic and the Wolf's Gravestone, like, you were just leaps and bounds on a higher quality than some other people's accounts. Like, I gotta tell you, my account was nothing, even to this day, I was like super far behind on my initial luck with my account. I was only barely able to get Venti. I tried really hard to get Venti. And not only did I try to get Venti, but then, because I had to invest so much into Venti, I did not have enough to get Klee, so then I had to spend money on Klee. Which at the time it wasn't a, you know, that big of an issue. I didn't have to spend that much money on Klee. It was just that $50 pack, which, like I said, I was thankful that I ended up getting her on like the last 10 roll that I had, which is nice. But in general, I'm unlucky. And so long as you come to terms with that, you can live a happier life. I'm unlucky, but it's because of how lucky that I am outside of these factors, outside of gacha factors, that I could be okay with it. You know, my life is pretty cushy. I'm pretty happy with the way I could live right now. Of course, I want to be even further beyond. I want to reach a top tier level of, like, what would you call it, streamerhood, I guess. And what I mean, of course, what I mean by that is I'd like to see my name in the lights one day, of course. I don't think I'm good enough as a streamer to get there today. I might not even be good enough to get there in another year or two, but I'm hoping I'm good enough to get there one day. That's it. I'd like to be able to collaborate with some other big names at some point, or even smaller names. Or maybe I could be the type of streamer who opens up the possibility to hold the door open a little bit for if I have any, like, real life friends who wanted to collaborate with me. Maybe I could, like, if I did have a future in streaming, maybe I could, like, jumpstart them. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's an unrealistic expectation. I think the most unrealistic expectation is assuming that I'll ever get any success. I don't assume to get success, I'm just hopeful to have it, you know? It's like, my success... Oh jeez, I pressed that wrong. I didn't mean to use her ultimate. Success also is, I guess, per definition. You might have a different idea of success than I do, which could be a fair point of view. And if that was the case, you know, so let me simplify things. My idea of success is knowing that, honestly, I would consider myself successful as a streamer as long as I could manage to stream not at a loss at one point in time. Right now, I can really only stream for fun. You know, this is what I enjoy doing. But I am hopeful that one day I could make. It's not. I guess it's just the blatantly honest truth. I need to make a little scratch. You know, a little bit of cash so that I could afford to keep doing this. So long as I could afford to just barely make it, maybe with, like, you know, maybe someone could sponsor a welcome moon here and there. But besides that, I don't really need a whole lot of money. It's like I've always been content with living off of, like, cheap food. Like, I mean, like, rice is nice and cheap, right? You can buy a big old bag of rice. It'll last you almost forever. Big old bag of rice can last you like 2 weeks if you're in a smaller household, which I think is fantastic. I guess I should take out this mage.
Shine down. There you are. Allow me. Think you can get away? Would have got Yahoo! Useless.
There you are, traveler.
Brace yourself.
We don't really ever need those mist pollens from her, but maybe one day I might. That's why I still make sure to go out of my way to get her every time I happen to be passing by. Yeah. So like I was saying, my measure of success for me is just to be able to live happily, I guess. Like right now I'm happy in what I'm doing, but I can't live happily like this right now because, you know, I do have to take on other responsibilities to ensure that I can stay afloat so that I can guarantee that I can at least stream every day. If that makes much sense. Like, you know, I have to do what I have to do or else I'm never gonna make it.
Illusion shattered. Rest and rebuild. Time for takeoff. Let's play. Torn to oblivion.
That's just how things go. I would really like to be able to stream full time. I think I'm super capable of streaming the 8 hours a day. I don't really see that as much of an issue. If I'm being honest. It doesn't seem to me like that big of a deal. I know to others it could be a bit of an issue, but you know, when you go to work, you work 8 hours most of the time. So I don't see why I wouldn't be able to do that while streaming too, right? It's a simple... At that point, it's my job. Even right now, I consider it kind of my job. But a fun job, of course. If I didn't have fun doing it, I would just not do it, right? But for me, I have the luxury to be able to make those choices right now. And, you know, considering all the things that happened to me, like that, it all happened so fast. I've always wanted to be a streamer. And then when VTubing started to take off, this was exactly my opportunity, and I could feel it. I knew it was my calling to do this. And then, you know, obviously I couldn't do it right away. I didn't have the means. I've always had kind of a, like, better than your family's computer, but not that much better type of computer. So it's not like I could just pick up streaming out of nowhere. Most of the, like, when it came to streaming, I could barely even get whatever game I needed to stream launched, let alone stream it. Now I'm a little bit more, I guess, situated. I can actually play the game and stream it, but even now, I want to take it even still to the next level with the second computer that is still sitting right next to me, unused. I'll get it set it up eventually. Honestly, right now, the thing that I'm kind of hesitant about setting up that computer, like I've mentioned quite a few times already, is that I use the capture card right now to connect my Nintendo Switch to the computer. That way I could play... That's how I stream Breath of the Wild to my grandma. But also, that's how I would play... whatever random other game I wanted to play, like I've played Pokemon Unite before. If I want to play Animal Crossing, I usually like to play it on my computer because that way I could still hear my music on my computer without having to switch to, I don't know, taking my headphones off, because I ultimately not want to do that. So again, because of that, I've gotten really used to just using this capture card the way it is. And for me to set up a second computer, I would need to disconnect that connection. The Switch would no longer be connected to any of my monitors, or computer rather, or both rather. Instead, the capture card would be connected from computer to computer. That way I could stream... How would I say it in a way that doesn't convolute the words? if I do it in that way, I can keep my
Hold the line. Now you
if I do it that way, I can display, I guess, my Genshin Impact would display kind of like a video to the second computer, which is a lot lighter of a process for the second computer to be able to stream that video it's essentially watching. It's almost like I guess, watching a YouTube video, but even lighter than that. I think to some degree. That's essentially what my computer would be doing,
shine down.
which is, at this point in time, that's the main goal. Because it would be such a light process, my computer would be able to do that, or the second computer would be able to stream with a far heavier emphasis on its CPU streaming, which is what I need to do to, one, take off some of the load on this current computer. That way, because every once in a while you'll see, it doesn't happen every time, but every once in a while my audio driver seems to like bust out of nowhere. And I really do mean out of nowhere. Like, I won't spike in CPU usage, GPU usage. Nothing will spike in any crazy fashion, but just every once in a while the audio driver breaks. And you'll notice when that happens when my screen just crashes. It just freezes for a small while. Whenever my screen freezes for a small while streaming, I already know it means my audio driver's crashing. And sometimes I forget that that's happening, and I'll be like talking for a couple minutes after the freeze, and I'll remember, oh yeah, they can't even hear me because the driver broke and I need to relaunch the software. But then once I do that, then it's, you know, hunky-dory, right back to normal. But it is true that I sometimes forget. But yeah, once I get the second PC set up, which it doesn't honestly require that much effort. The thing I was just mostly dreading, though, was the fact that I would have to... I either have to buy a second microphone, which is not out of the question, I suppose. If I buy another microphone... the reason I'll explain first, before I just go off on tangents in the middle of conversations. But my main issue, or one of the issues present with changing the setup, is when I move over to the second PC, since I would be streaming essentially from the second PC and playing from the first one, that means I would need to use my microphone, I would need to use my microphone on the second PC, and the webcam would need to be connected to the second PC. And, you know, that's how I'll have to proceed. That innately has some problems. One, obviously it means I won't have a microphone for the first PC. There's either those two ways to handle that. Like I mentioned, I either buy a second microphone, one for primary PC and the other one for secondary PC, which seems a bit excessive, or I just transfer the microphone between PCs whenever I feel like using one or the other. Like, the main reason I would use mic on the first PC is, like, if I ever, like, want to get into a call with some real-life friends, or any collaborative efforts. That's another interesting take that I didn't think of. What happens... How do people do setups? Like, so imagine if somebody... Like, what if we said, like, I wanted to play with one of you guys, right? If I wanted to play with one of you guys, and I had the second PC set up, how would I have to set up the microphone? Because wouldn't that mean... If I set it up on first PC, it's a bit of a problem because obviously then I can't speak on second PC, which is the one that would be broadcasting the software in any case. Which means you wouldn't hear me on stream, but you would hear me in the Discord call. Unless what I would do, but I can already imagine it pissing me off. As you know, Discord or most audio software has a setting where you can hear yourself. It's usually used to like test if you to see how you sound. But in this particular case, I could probably use it to display my own audio, but at the cost of driving me absolutely insane. I don't know if that's worth it, to be honest. Alternatively, it's mostly this idea of streaming to a second PC with Discord on the first PC. I feel like that would simply require me to have two microphones, and there's no two ways about it. That's the case, isn't it? I feel like that's the case. I guess no matter what, then I have to buy a second mic. I suppose it's not the end of the world. Mics aren't that expensive, especially if I just need one for Discord calls. I would obviously use my better mic for the stream and use the lesser mic for Discord calls, right? It's really just that simple. Ideally, it's just that simple. It doesn't sound like there's any two ways I could get around it, though. I do have to get a second mic. Or I could, like, well, yeah. There's no way I'm going to stream on... Or I'm going to do a Discord call on my phone. It's just, that's not happening. So I'd have to get a second mic. It's not that frustrating. What I'm flustered by, I guess, is... Well, I mean, I guess if I just get a second mic, that removes all my immediate concerns with setting up the second PC. It does alleviate all my previous concerns. I guess it's always just been that easy. I guess I just need to buy another mic. I suppose if that's the case, I could probably have my two PC setup finished within a few days, maybe, assuming I buy the mic today, which I might or might not. We'll see. Part of me is saving my money, of course, to see if I could afford to get Kazuha C2, or if I'll need extra clearance monetary-wise. I would hate to assume that I am gonna get him and then don't get him. You know what I mean? I think Kazuha's like a future-proofable character. Like, he's gonna be strong essentially forever. I can't see him being power crept outside of his very specific roles for a long time, if ever. So I think it's totally worth C2ing him. Going far out of my way to C2 him. I think it's gonna be well worth my time and money to do so. And who knows, like I mentioned before, there's some possibility, though small, that I could C2 him without even spending any money. If I C2'd him without spending any money, I'm not going to hold you. I would probably try spending to get Freedom Sworn. Because then I could have the best Kazuha that I could possibly get, right? That would be his best in slot. I think so. I do think so. Okay, let's defeat these Abyss Mages. We're unfortunately almost done with the overworld farming array. I say unfortunately because I do like to take the time while overworld farming to talk to you guys. It's easiest to talk to you guys during this point in time because I don't really have to focus on defeating the mobs. The mobs are just straightforward mobs and they die pretty easily. I don't require much effort or like mental input to defeat them. Yeah, so that's my current setup and plans, I guess. I've had... Oh, no. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Let me feed him some eggs or something.
Shine down. Hold the line. Billowing surge.
Okay, let's recover Shao a bit. You see the beauty of Kokomi. See, you know, again, my Kokomi's not the best Kokomi, but she certainly gets the job done. She heals a lot. She provides a lot of an attack between her Tenacity of the Millith with Thrilling Tales. She has a lot. Honestly, it's a pretty fair amount of Hydra application that she keeps on filled, even while she's off filled. And I do like that if needed, she could heal my entire team without like creating conflicting input, I guess I would say.
Here we go.
Let's see, can I convince that guy to show up? I
Now
can.
you shall perish.
Juggled him. Okay, let's get on. This is another Whopper Flower Abyss Mage combo, which is nice. Yeah, I suppose I could buy like one of those $35 USB mics for
Shine down.
the stream. No, I'm sorry, not for the stream. For the
Think you can get away?
new PC setup. For the Discord calls. Jeez.
There is no
It would
escape.
probably make things easier. It would make things a hell of a lot easier. I already know that much for true. Okay, well here's the damn shame of Genshin Impact is I don't know what else to do. I farmed almost all the overworld mobs that I needed to farm. We farmed the 2 big ones, which, you know, honestly I could probably even stop farming them, but then that would take even less content out of Genshin for me to stream. This one I don't have too much leeway. I do still need to farm these a fair bit. I don't really need these, and I have enough to the point where anytime I would need them, I should have them. Same with these. Whopper Flower is a little less so, or maybe even just as much so. I have a lot of the level 1s, and not much of the 2s or 3s, but a lot of the level 1s in any case. So I realistically don't need to farm any more Whopper Flowers, but now I'm lost, you know, what else do I do on Genshin for today? What else is even doable? I guess I could try... What could we try? We could try, like, theory crafting some Ganyu stuff, I guess. So at the moment, I'm using Blackcliff Warbow for Ganyu, which I know this is far from her best bow. But at the time, it was the best that I had. And this is with, like, some janky Wanderer set. Which, to be fair, I don't think I need a crit rate. Well, yeah. I probably could get by without crit rate on the artifact, because she gains 20% crit rate from... which one of these is it? The subsequent ones get 20% crit rate. Yeah. So, you see... So yeah, so they would get 20%. And then... Let me see. I forget what Shattering Ice gives. This gives... How much? Probably not any, because they're not going to be affected by cryo at all, huh? Yeah. Okay, so she would get 20% just from her talent then. So maybe it's fine for her to have that much hit rate. That puts her at about like 79. Almost 80 crit rate if you round up. Which is a fine ratio to crit damage. He doesn't really have that much elemental mastery, but I guess that's a fair amount as well, considering I have elemental mastery on a lot of her pieces. plus 61, plus 42. So when it comes to melting, she's supposed to melt a lot. Of course, I don't have her at 90 yet. And I do think her artifacts could be a bit better. But it's like, even though this is only 19% defense, it is at least 21% crit damage, which is okay. This is probably the worst piece that I have on here. But even then, it's still almost 20% crit value, which is still pretty good. Although I heard that it's within reason that some people are supposed to put Elemental Mastery main stat here. I don't know how true that is. This is a really good piece. This is also a really good piece. Yeah, these are both fantastic pieces that I ended up getting. Which is why I pursued this build finally with her because initially I used to just use her with Blizzard Strayer, and I just used her as a freeze team component. But I guess it doesn't really change the fact that I don't ever actually use her, huh? Yeah, I don't have any constellations for her, which I don't remember which one it is, but it's not until her C6, huh? Yeah, that's the really strong one. Of course, I'm not ever really planning to C6 most 5 stars. In fact, I'm very rarely planning to C6 any 5 stars at this point in time. Maybe my situation will change later. It's mostly finances right now. Obviously, I can't afford to do that right now. But it is what it is. And I'm sure you could tell by the fact that I'm upset that I have to buy another microphone for my second computer. Or, I'm sorry, for the first computer. I'm going to move the microphone that I do have to the streaming PC. So you guys won't notice any significant difference in the streaming quality. As far as you're concerned, the streaming, my vocal setup will be exactly the same. It's more how I'm personally going to handle it after the fact. Okay, so let's go over what our potential plans are, I suppose, for what characters we're going to work on next. So obviously, I'm planning to get Kazuha to C2. Don't have him yet, but I think I'll be able to pull 3 copies of him, either with the gems that I have, or I'll spend until I do get him to C2. That's just the case. If after I reach all the top-up bonuses I still don't get him, though, I might be a little tapped and out of luck. But at that point, what are you going to do? You know, at that point, the Archons told me you're not getting him C2. That's just the way it is. But even getting him to C1's is a pretty significant bonus to him, because that means I could still run Iron Sting without worry. Because what his C1 does, as I'll demonstrate or I'll display here, it means when I use Chihayaburo, which that's his E, first of all, it decreases Chihayaburu's cooldown by 10 seconds, which is already lovely. That's already great. Then, after using Kazuha Slash, which is his burst, it resets the cooldown of Chihayaburu, which is fantastic, because ideally you would press E, and then after the plunge attack, you would hit Q so that you could kind of suck up some of the Animo energies that you'd get from the first E. Then you could E again, because of the fact that, it resets it. That starts funneling you even more Animo energy, which would be really fantastic for him, because that means you need less total energy recharge to make him useful. And as I'll show you on my Traveler, where is my Traveler? Is Traveler on this character archive or no? I guess not, but as I'll show you on my Traveler, because Traveler is the one who I'm using to hold Kazuha's current stuff, okay? So, like, as you can see, I have Iron Sting all the way maxed out. From the artifacts, I have plus 72% energy recharge while using an Elemental Mastery main stat. Of course, this is not the best Elemental Mastery main stat, as I'll so constantly say, far from it. But it was good enough for now. Because again, I mostly wanted to ensure that I could get an Elemental Mastery main stat that has Energy Recharge as a substat, and I would, of course, prefer that I could actually roll into more Energy Recharge, because that would definitely circumvent even further of how much Elemental Mastery I wouldn't, or Energy Recharge I wouldn't need for Kazuha. But at the moment, I'm not really searching that deeply into it, because I need to actually feel Kazuha, or see how he feels with the setup that I have, but I don't have him yet, so it's purely speculation. So as you can see, currently she has 820 Elemental Mastery. I'm pretty sure Kazuha gets an extra 115 from his Ascension stats. So that would be a beautiful 935, which I think is a fantastic amount of Elemental Mastery to be at, considering I won't have Freedom Sworn. Plus the fact that when I do reach into C2, he'll get 200 extra Elemental Mastery after casting... what was it, his ult? After casting his ult, he gets it, I think? Let me double check before I start spouting nonsense. Let's see. Yeah, after Kazuha Slash, while I'm standing in the field, I gain 200 Elemental Mastery, or I give 200 Elemental Mastery to my entire party, depending if I switch out from him, I think. I'm pretty sure these don't stack, so it's one or the other. Basically meaning, as far as I'm concerned, the character who's active on the field gets 200 Mastery, or something like that. I don't know. I'll figure it out once I get him. Yeah, so those are the stats that a Traveler for now. Again, she has 172 total Elemental, or not, I'm sorry, I keep saying Elemental. 172 Energy Recharge for now, which I think will be good enough, considering I'll have 2 E's, compared to the regular just 1 E. That should be enough to be able to get me to ult on rotation, which is pretty good. Not much in the way of crit rate and crit damage, but I wasn't really focusing on it. I have the resources to also take Kazuha's E and Q, or rather say skill and burst, all the way to talent level 10, so he's going to be nice and crowned on both of them. I have his Iron Sting, as you saw, his artifacts. I have all the Ascension material ready for him. All that needs to happen is he just needs to be reran. The very moment he gets reran, I could pull him to my heart's content. And I could finally dump these gems that I've been saving for... Honestly, I've been saving them for a while. Obviously, I spent a bit on Arataki Ito. So, Ito's been the last time that I majorly pulled. And this is already his rerun. I pulled for Ito on his initial run, which I don't remember how long ago that was. But I've been saving since then, essentially. And I guess we could continue looking at other future prospects. So, like I've mentioned before, I'm farming Emblem of Severed Fate to replace this with a better crit damage piece. Preferably one that actually is Emblem of Severed Fate, of course. As you can see, right now he's running only 2-piece because I don't have better alternatives yet. Even if I was to show here, I would still find that I don't think this is quite good enough. Though it is pretty good, I think I could do better. However, the piece definitely needs to be HP. Or at least it's to my preference that it's HP. I could technically run this. I would lose a bit of crit rate, but I'd gain a bit more crit damage. which I guess that's okay. I would gain a lot more energy recharge, a whole extra 7%. If I lose 5 and gain 16, that would put me to 59 and 181, which is pretty good. That keeps me at like a 1-3 ratio, essentially, more or less. Which is pretty nice. I don't know if it's better, but it's probably pretty nice. I would probably have to sim them to see which particular pieces ends up being better. Which is fair. I could run the simulator right now. I don't know if I particularly want to, but I definitely could. Let me see. I mean, there's a lot of artifacts it would have to sift through, though. Yeah, a lot of artifacts. And they're almost all 5-star pieces, which is the sadness. I have to really clean these out. Maybe I could offer a few of them to the strongbox thing, just to help clear out a tiny bit of space. Alternatively, I could use them to test out some current artifacts to see if maybe they just roll into something pretty nice. I don't need Bloodstained. I think if I were to try to make more pieces, it would definitely be of either Gladiators or Noblesse Oblige. Gladiators probably, because it's just pretty good. Maybe I'll just offer up one set. I think I'll feed it all my bad. Where's Maiden's Beloved? You know what? I could try to feed it bad flowers. Yeah. Pretty bad, some of these. A lot of these are pretty bad. Okay. And what I got was even worse. Oh well, it is what it is. No, let's just, maybe just try our luck one time for the one time there. Yeah, I can't really think of anything else to do. I'd like to keep streaming Genshin, but I'm damn near done it all. And I'm kind of a bit low on energy to do a story quest right now. I guess for fun we could try Spiral Abyss just to test out my combat skills real quick. Obviously we've already have it 36 stars, so it would, like I said, purely be for fun. What comp do we want to try, do you think? Let me see, I would probably need Venti for the first half. And fire units for this. So I think in general the team I ran the first time was something like this. And for the second half I could run whatever I want, realistically, but in this particular case we could try doing Arataki Ito. Where's Ito? Kuro, Zhongli, and some other type of support, I would figure. Who would be a decent teammate for this? I guess Yelan. I don't think the team needs too much extra healing. I think Guro should be enough to heal it. Unless he's not. And if he's not, then fucking oh well.
Illusion shattered. Time for takeoff. Let's play. Inazuma shines eternal.
Okay, it's not looking too great to start.
Teamwork is dreamwork. light it up.
I'm really taking my time here, it seems.
Nice and spicy. Think you can get away? Here we go. How rude. Would have got Yahoo! There is no escape. Now you shall
There's
perish.
no escape. And that's something I've always had a problem with when it came to the national team. Was I always hated the fact that that overload acts the way it does.
Time for takeoff.
If that makes any sense.
Go in. Let's light it. Shine down. Inazuma
Okay,
shines
this
eternal.
should defeat him pretty quickly, especially because Venti's ult was... you saw my damage decrease once I got out of Bennett's ultimate.
No escape. Everybody stand back. Torn to oblivion.
Okay, I guess we're gonna need to go through a second round of these.
Illusion shattered. You're toast. Nice and spicy. Let's light it up.
I wasn't terribly fast, but I don't know what I'm doing.
Advance. This is order.
Here comes the cash.
Attaboy! It's showtime!
Okay. That's one defeat.
Press the advantage! Order guide you.
Order guide you.
Stabilize.
Game's up. Time's over.
Charge! Bam! Oh,
Let's
coming
get
through.
right into it.
Attaboy! I will
It's
have
going a
order.
little less good than I'd like.
Stabilize. Everyone on me!
I just don't have enough
Who wants some of this?
energy recharge. Oh, I think I just barely 3-starred that, huh? Yeah, just barely. Okay, let's get on with it. Extra 80 elemental mastery does absolutely nothing for my Edo team.
Think you can get away?
Ooh, let's hit him with one of these.
Now you shall perish. There is no escape. Let's light it up. Everybody stand back. Let's light it up.
Ouch. What's hitting me?
Down. Inazuma shines eternal.
I don't have unlimited time here.
Let's light it up. Why do they Benny's adventure team?
Oh. What was I... What was hitting my right and Shogun? I didn't even understand that.
Illusion shattered. I'm going in. Time for takeoff.
Maybe not my best display of skill.
Now you shall perish. There is no escape. Nice and spicy. Everybody stand back. You're toast. Illusion shattered. Boba, get them. Think you can get away? Teamwork is dreamwork. Let's
Let's let her hit him with one of these. Okay, and just overload the absolute shit out of him. Overload against single target bosses is pretty strong, I must admit. Now here's the real problem with this team. Okay, wake up, good sir.
Solidify. Pull in.
Things are about to get dicey. Busted.
This is order. Let's roll.
Supposed to be using...
Quietly now.
I think I could use Yelan to semi-funnel.
Press the advantage.
I don't know.
Gotcha. Here comes the catch.
It's showtime.
I think this is a really bad utilization because I think he's about to... Yeah, super armor.
Attaboy.
Damn, I'm trash at fighting Magu Kenki. I don't understand how you're supposed to fight this guy.
Gather.
Oh my god. I hate this guy.
Let's roll.
Game's up. Fun's over.
Advance. Everyone on me.
Fighting this guy makes absolutely no sense to me.
Quake.
Quietly.
Oh, you're coming through.
Then this fucking asshole always teleports away.
Cha! Attaboy. Ha!
Okay, I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to
Bam! Rise.
throw this out.
Gotcha. Things are about to get dicey.
Down.
Order guide you.
I hate Magu Kenki.
Gather. Rally.
I'll just retry. I cannot stand him. He always teleports away. If he doesn't teleport away, he super armors. I don't know how to handle that.
Wouldn't gliding be faster? Time for takeoff. Everybody stand back. Nice and spicy.
Why does my Shangling have no energy? Did she always have no energy?
Think you can get away? I'm going in. It's fire. There is no escape.
There is no escape.
Nice and spicy. Let's play. Teamwork is dreamwork. Let's. Insolent. Time for takeoff.
Ah, jeez, I'm failing again.
Everybody stand back. You're toast.
I wanted to snapshot the Pyronado. Right? Because that's how that works. So long as any buffs that Shangling's receiving at the time of casting her ult, she keeps for the entire ult duration.
Solidify. This is order.
Here comes the catch.
I think I did this combo wrong again.
Crumble. Pull in. Let's roll.
How am I supposed to keep up with my superlative stacks when I can't... I don't ever have enough energy to use Yido's ultimate consistently.
Busted. Game's up. Fun's over.
Order guide you. Press the advantage.
My goodness, where is he?
Charge.
I can't fight Maku Kenki. Oh my gosh.
Attaboy. It's
I don't mean to be such a loser, but apparently I am nothing but.
ha! Let's roll. Everyone on me. Fall in. Order guide you.
Big Zhongli ultimate, but
Busted. Here comes the
damn it, man. I'm pretty sure I beat this guy last time with Hu Tao, because I don't think my Ito team's really that good.
Stabilize. Press the advance.
Not only is my Ito team probably not good, but I'm also... Oh, how did Ito die? You could just leave then. What could you do at this point? What can you do? Yeah, or I'm just gonna leave altogether. There's no point in me trying with the Ito team. I don't think I could do it. Because I know like one of the main drives of playing an Ito team, I think you almost always have to have what's that guy's name? Albedo? I think you essentially have to have Albedo. Or at least, at the very least, that's what it feels like. I can't keep up with damage. I just purely simply can't. I could try... no, I can't. Well, maybe. I was gonna say, maybe I could try the Ganyu. No, I can't do Ganyu Melt because I need Melt for the first team. I mean, it basically has to be my Hu Tao team. That's the only single target team that I have for that. I could probably put like Ayaka for team 2. Could try it. Like, I know this team's good enough. For the first half. Where's Bennett? I can never find Bennett. That team's just purely good enough. My Ito team is not good enough, unfortunately. I know the Hu Tao team is good enough, so I'm kind of like trying to avoid that for now. I can't realistically use Ganyu because I don't have another good pyro applicator. Once I get Kazuha, I think I could probably get away with it because I could put like Ganyu, Bennett, Kazuha, Zhongli, and be pretty strong. Okay, well, I know it can't be Ganyu then. It could almost be an Ayaka team, but Ayaka and what? What say you? Just good old sword team? With what then? Like that? I could almost see this working. Try it out. I'm pretty sure the first half is just way too strong to ever lose.
Time down. Think you can get away? Brace yourself.
Teamwork is dreamwork. Inazuma shines eternal. Huh. Huh.
Why does this overload send them so far sometimes?
There is no escape.
Time for takeoff.
Okay,
Let's light
time
it
for
up.
takeoff.
Everybody stand back. Now you shall perish. Huh. Shine down.
I don't know if I got into the Bennett ult.
Let's light it
before it's snapshotted.
Illusion shattered.
Boba, get them!
Yeah, I really need these to die.
Teamwork is dreamwork.
You're toast! Think you can get away?
Inazuma shines eternal.
Inazuma shines eternal. Look at the damage, it's a huge damages.
Let's play!
I'm going in. Let's light it up. Torn to oblivion.
I think this is a bit slower than my last run, but it's probably okay. And 8 minutes on the dot.
Stabilize. I will have order.
Let me weave you a verse. Rain outlines your fate. Gotcha. Game's up. Fun's over.
My apologies! Suffer a swirl!
Probably not my best display with that Ayaka combo, but it should be fine like I was saying.
Witness the power of Guwa. Know my sword. Here comes the cat.
Yeah, this will definitely be enough. I can already tell you that. Ayaka just does too much damage. Oh yeah, easily. Easily, it wasn't even really that close. It's like I misplayed the hell out of the first Ayaka rotation. But it really doesn't matter.
Time for takeoff. Yahoo!
Everybody stand back. Now you shall
Okay, just let it rip.
Think you can get away?
teamwork is strength. There is no escape.
You're toast!
Inazuma shines eternal.
This is bad. Oh no, he didn't end up dodging the Raiden Shogunate like I thought he was going to. Okay, and he's gone. Now there's this team, which I do believe Raiden Shogun's gonna. Or, I'm sorry, not Raiden Shogun. I do believe whatever this character's name is, Ayaka, is gonna have a little bit better of a time against Magu Kenki.
Quietly now. Game's up. Fun's up.
Take flight.
Yeah, because she's way more consistent with her damage upkeep.
Whirling snow.
Yeah, look at that. That's way better. A million times better.
Order guide you.
I don't know, is he hurtable right now? I don't know.
Know my sword.
Excuse me, I'm trying to press your goddamn burst.
Things are about to get dicey.
Embrace the ice!
Okay, we should be able to effortlessly take him down within the 7 minutes. Or the 7-minute mark, sorry.
Witness the power. Here comes the cat.
Ooh, what a zoom in. Thank you, Hoyoverse, for that one.
Stabilize. I will have
Oops,
order.
that's not good.
Know my sword. Ring cutter.
Okay,
Rain
let's
outlines.
give him a couple of these.
Get dicey.
Where is he? This damn bastard.
My apologies! Coming to arms!
And one of these, and he should be gone. Yes, sir. Ayaka's so strong. Remember, my Shincho's not there yet. My Shincho's only level 70.
Illusion shattered.
Time for takeoff.
Everybody stand back. Time to oblivion.
That's not good. I just plainly walked directly off of the Bennett ult for free.
Shine down. Let's light it up.
Going in. You're toast.
Okay,
There is no
let it
escape.
rip.
Inazuma shines eternal.
Hit him with one of these on the Bennett ult, and they're down really, really fast. You see, that's the amazing thing about Bennett. Bennett's so strong for no reason. And here's this thing.
Let me weave you a burst. No, my soul. Gotcha. Game's up. Fun's over.
Whirling snow.
Order guide you.
Okay.
Flight.
Should be entering its disable form pretty soon.
Gather.
I don't know if that's really how I meant to say that, but I'm sure you know what I meant. Break apart now, sir. But now's the break apart phase.
Rain cutter. No, my sword.
Oh, that's just bad.
Gotcha. Here comes the catch.
Whirling snow. Embrace the ice.
That's really not good. I did this so badly.
My apologies. I will not stand for this.
Bro,
Stabilize.
I have nothing right now.
Let me weave you a burst. Game's up. Fun's over.
Take flight.
Ideally, this would be enough, but it's far from it. This isn't going to be enough.
My apologies.
I needed to have my ult for this. It's over. I lost.
I will have order.
Rain outlines your fate. Busted. Things are about to get dicey. Rain cutter.
Whirling snow.
This is not going to be enough damage, no matter how you shake it. Yeah, my Ayaka I really needed to save Ayaka's ult for the actual boss.
Gotcha. Witness the power of Gugwa.
No way. Can't do it. I could try again, though.
Illusion shut.
Think you can get away?
Teamwork is dreamwork.
Nice and spicy.
Now you shall.
Can't do it in that run. Look at how much damage Pyronado does for free.
Let's light it up.
Booba, get them. Let's play.
Everybody stand back.
Eat this.
Shine down.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Come on, man. It's too damn good. Okay, let's wait a second. Let's collect ourselves and jump right into the news.
Rain outlines your fate. Let me weave you a busted. Here comes the catch.
My apologies.
This is order.
This is not good. I think I messed up again. I think I'm not supposed to use Zhongli. I guess I'm not supposed to use his ult at all against this boss. He probably resists it too much. Oh my god, why are you still Yelan?
Stabilize.
Gotcha. Rain cutter. Quietly now. Take
Okay, let's try my best to beat this in a timely fashion, but I don't think so, to be fair.
Order guide you.
Let me weave you a verse.
I seriously doubt that I can beat this on time yet again. I don't think I have the damage with Ayaka. I think to do this, because freezing this doesn't do anything for me.
Stabilize. I will have order.
Rain outlines your fate. Witness the power of Kuwa. Know my sword. Quietly now. Here comes
Quietly now. Actually, there's some chance that I actually might be able to. It's looking a whole lot more possible with some proper cooldown manages.
Gotcha. Game's up. Fun is over. Rain cutter.
Gather.
Yeah, this might be doable so long as he doesn't break apart literally right now. Yep, that's another 36 stars, provable that I could do it with this Ayaka team. Ayaka, Xingqiu, Yelan, Zhongli, fully capable of doing it. Yep. No reason for me to do anything else, huh? Well, I realistically only did that Spiral Abyss for fun. To stall content. I'm sure you're tired of hearing that excuse, but I needed content. I needed to get to 2 hours. I refused to stream Genshin for any less than 2 hours at least. I don't have another string list, huh? No, I just have this R4 string list. Where even is my Ventis? I mean, I guess obviously he's wearing it. Yeah, this is all I have. Can't afford to try to get anything better than that. For now, I just haven't pulled another string list. I know stringless is also supposed to be one official's best weapons for the build I want to do, which is mostly focused on her Frey Kugel, which is, you know, Knight Rider's continuous damage. That's what I would like to have, but I obviously don't have that right now. I was gonna like settle with using some type of crit build for official, but I'm not even sure if that's the right way to play it. The calculator proves that it shouldn't be that bad for raw extra electro damage, so I anticipate that it's going to be pretty good one way or another. I need to get Venti's string list up to 90 at some point. Could stand to get his talents higher as well. It won't do much, but it'll do something. Every little tiny bit of damage could be second saved on the Spiral Abyss. So we'll see. I can't really see myself using Kokomi too much in the Spiral Abyss. But it's totally possible. I've never once even tried using Xiao in Spiral Abyss, especially with this setup. I don't know if I'd be too good with him. He would probably be fine, to be honest, in any case. Could probably run him with, like, Bennett, and honestly, I could totally see him running fine with, like, Bennett and Shangling, with, like, some type of, I don't know, Yelan. Let me look at what are the Xiao teams, actually. Xiao, Sucrose, Bennett, and Zhongli. Oh. Sucrose, Bennett, Zhongli. I want to try that out real quick just to see how that looks like. How does that play? How would that play, I wonder? Also, it's quite weird because it takes Zhongli away from both of my second teams, which both need them. Let me see. Xiao, Sucrose. Where's Sucrose? Bennett. And Zhongli. On this team, I could probably get away with, like... I don't know, I could probably just do something... like this is probably good enough. We're mostly testing out the first team. The second team probably doesn't really matter that much. Let's just try them out. I've never played Xiao in this thing.
Stabilize.
I'm going in. Let's light it up.
Swirl, Mark 2, stand clear.
Order guide you.
Boring. Evil conquering.
I mean, it's damage.
Worthless.
Everybody
Oh man, I'm failing a bit here.
Animal test 6308.
Let's light it up.
I will.
How do I still not have Zhongli's ultimate?
Disappear.
Things are not going great over here. I can't get the Whopper Flowers together.
Worthless. Worthless.
Enhanced animal module 75. Absorption test.
Solidify.
I'm going in.
Animal test 6308.
Useless.
Oh,
This is order. Stabilize.
Let's light it up.
Absorption test.
Teamwork is trick. Boring. Evil conquering.
this doesn't really feel that bad, but it certainly doesn't feel that good.
Worthless. Here.
Solidify.
Let's light it up.
Yeah.
Going in.
Animal hypostasis. Yeah.
Oh, please.
Animal test.
Please.
Boring. Useless. Lament.
Lament, please, lament.
Here.
I mean, it's a big damage if ever I could actually get it to work, but these guys refuse to stay down.
Order. Gather.
Let's light it up.
Stand clear.
How did I get... Why is there...
Absorption test.
why are they cold? Why are they cold? That didn't feel terribly good to me. I felt like I was struggle busting the entire time.
Power of the wild. Rain outline busted. Here comes the catch.
Look at what I have to gain, though.
Higher, higher, hands on fire.
I know that I'm past the limit here, but
Let me weave you up. Things are about to get dicey.
Diana special.
I want to see this damage in Diona's ult. Because I know it's a lot, but they have 200 extra elemental mastery.
Gotcha.
Bink. Oh, that's not even enough damage. That's a shame. I thought the Shell team would feel a little bit better. I know that my Shell's not the strongest. I know he was definitely the best person on that team, but... I don't know what I was doing wrong. It felt like maybe perhaps I didn't have enough energy recharge on Sucrose that I couldn't reliably use her burst to group the Whopper Flowers, or maybe that team's just not well equipped to handle the Whopper Flowers, because boy, did they feel like they couldn't handle those goddamn Whopper Flowers. I always dislike fighting stages like that. I just have a bunch of Whopper Flowers, because what can I realistically do? If I don't have... Like, Venti makes them kind of easy. No Venti, they're kind of hard. I imagine that if I ran that same team, but with Kazuha instead of Sucrose, I guarantee you that's like 10 times easier. Guaranteed. Guaranteed, because my Kazuha will do the same thing Sucrose does anyways. The difference is he will have way more reliability in keeping the mobs stacked up, which is something that Sucrose is currently struggling with, evidently. I don't really know how to make that team too much stronger. That team just didn't really seem like that good of a team. Let me check Kaching names instead. I don't know who gave me that team, but that didn't seem terribly good. Let me see. What's a team comp? What am I looking at here? Support. Let's see. Team comps. Overview. Xiao's a hyper carry, meaning that he should be on the field dealing damage as often as possible. Consequently? Jeez, I don't know why I was having a stroke reading that one. His most synergistic supports will help ensure the following. Xiao has enough energy to ensure consistent burst. Xiao's time on field dealing damage is maximized, blah blah blah. To achieve this goals, we could generally categorize his supports into the following rows. A battery, a sub DPS, and a healer. So for battery, due to Xiao's ability to pre-funnel particles into his first burst, Xiao can generally comfortably get his second burst with some additional energy from his supports, especially if accounting for HP particles dropped by enemies. However, beyond that second burst, Xiao will often require considerable energy to fund his subsequent burst. This is the role of the battery, so blah blah blah. So who's a decent battery? Example team comps. Please note many of these team comps are flexible, blah blah blah. Xiao random bullshit go burr. Xiao battery flex. So run Xiao.
Right now, I wish I was sitting at the top of a tree.
Sucrose or Xiao
looking out
Jin?
over a meadow.
Honestly, Xiao Jin sounds like it's probably better because Jin flexes as a healer, while also being a decent Animo battery for Xiao's ultimate. I just don't know, though. Oh, jeez. Yeah, I really don't know. I don't know how are you supposed to run Xiao?
But it'll cost you an apple.
Now Kazuha official Xingqiu. That's kind of like what I was expecting to run, but what, Yelan instead of Xingqiu? But then that I don't know, but you kind of need Xingqiu to heal Xiao, right? Damn. It's kind of weird then. Oh, I can't wait to get Kazuha, to be honest. Yeah, this is kind of what I was expecting. Xiao, Bennett, Kazuha, and like Xingling. Something like that. Just full-on Pyro Xiao. Ooh, I already know that would do so much damage. I already know. But I guess that's enough theory crafting for now. That'll unfortunately be it today. I know today's stream was a little bit shorter than usual because of, you know, having to play Breath of the Wild with my grandma every Thursday. I mean, I don't have to do that. I kind of enjoy doing that. Well, I still have the good fortune of being able to do that, I would say. But that'll be it for today. I really hope you enjoyed the stream. If you're new here, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel and like the stream.
Full of lost ballads
If you like what you saw and you'd like to see content similar to this, go ahead and ring the notification bell. And follow me on Twitter, linked in the description below, to be notified anytime I'm going live, or any other random thoughts that go through my head will definitely be posted there. And this has been Maris Rey, Water Dragon Extraordinaire, and I hope I'll catch you guys at tomorrow's Genshin Impact stream. Ideally, I'll be playing Genshin Impact in Overwatch 2, but look out for it. No matter what, I'm playing Genshin, so that's always happening. So I'll see you then, alright? Peace, Slate, stay hydrated, stay cool, and I'm out of here. Later!